How many shows would Stereophonics have done since day one? I'm guessing it must be in the hundreds by now.
I don't know. Well, we used to average about I don't know 100, 150 shows in the first couple of years we done. That was like per year. So I would imagine, you know, like we're
thousands.
Yeah.
We're in thousands now.
So I guess from a market research perspective, when you put those set lists together, you have a pretty good idea of, you know, what people are going to like and, you know, maybe not like.
Yeah, well, you know, I think we change the set list pretty much every night. When you go 7 albums worth of material, it becomes quite a musical thing for us. You know, there's certain songs that never kind of change, you know, like Dakota or Local Born Photograph or, you know, Thousand Trees. There's certain songs you can't leave out, but then the ones in and around that, you can kind of manipulate that to a way where you kind of, it keeps the band excited. And also me and Richard being there from the beginning, but there's other band members that have come and gone in different records, and in certain countries, you know, some countries play rock music. You go to France, it's quite it's quite pop orientated, so certain tracks work differently in different countries. You know.
Yeah, a song could be a big hit in one country, not in another.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. What's the best reaction you get? What song works absolutely every time?
Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was the big hit and number one hit as well.
Yeah, I know.
So is it directly related to being a hit song, do you think?
Well, it became a hit song at a perfect time for the band. I mean, the band just changed lineups with Stuart leaving, and the last album we released was a very kind of soulful record. I mean, the song off that was Maybe Tomorrow, which that went on to do pretty well. It was on the end title as a Crash, that movie Paul Haggis made with the Oscar and all that. So it had a good association with that, and it became quite a big song. But the journalists were kind of possibly writing us off because we'd obviously lost our lifelong kind of mate and drummer and stuff, and they didn't know where we were going to go. But then we came up with that song, and it was kind of like a brand new beginning. There was 14-year-old kids thinking it was our first single and a brand new band, and the whole thing revolved into a kind of new beginning in a way. So I mean, we didn't sit and try to do that. It just kind of came about, and Superman and Dakota were the first demos we made for that record, and that kind of changed the whole sound of the band from there on in, really.
Kind of gets like the same reaction where you are, wherever you are in the world as well, like America, Australia, Europe, Japan, wherever, you still get that instant reaction to that song. And I suppose, you know, like with us not knowing whether it was a hit in all those different countries, it just, you know, like it represents what the song is for everybody everywhere.
And what about the Jeep album when that was released? I mean, that really took the band to another level, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, you know, with our band, it's been a natural climb, which again you're not really allowed to do in today's climate. You know, I wouldn't want to be a band signed now, because if you don't get high chart success or quite big sales on your first record, then you kind of get dropped. So for us, our second album went platinum before our first album. Then, so by the time we did Jeep, which is the third album, I mean, we were headlining, you know, stadium shows and arenas, and you know, the band became pretty massive. We were all over the radio, all over the front covers of the magazines, and that was you know, the biggest the band could possibly have got to at that stage, you know. So it was a good time. It's strange because the record isn't really that commercial a record. If you listen to the record, you know, the first single was Mr. Writer, which killed us with the press, and then we did a cover version as a B-side, which became an A-side, which was Handbags and Glad Rounds. Have a Nice Day was on the record. So it was quite a mixed match of different material, really. I mean, we didn't really know where we were going, and it kind of just worked, you know.
I guess one of the great thing about being you guys is the people you get to work with too. Tom Jones, tell me about the day in the studio with Tom Jones. That must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
20 minutes, wasn't it?
It was really good.
Is that all?
Yeah,
Two takes. Yeah.
We done the track without even Tom being there, I think, and then Kelly and Tom done the vocals perhaps a couple of hours later, and it was just put together probably in one afternoon. And then we went out on the road with him for about 6 weeks, something like that. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I can't remember. It's a haze.
Could you keep up with the drinking?
He's good, man.
We tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. Went to Vegas and stuff, and across Europe, and you know, a lot of doors opened for Tom Jones. And he's a great character. I mean, we've had some great opportunities. Really, we toured with the Stones and Bowie and U2 and all that. And it's been, you know, it's been a great learning experience for us. And I think you can't, you know, you can't replace all those experiences with anything else really, other than just being there, standing on the side of the stage, watching these people do their thing, and they've been in it for 20, 30 years, 40 years, some of them, you know.
Yeah.
You never imagine that happened to you.
Well, that's standing on the stage watching them. What about when you're actually on the stage performing with them, like The Who? That must have been like a out-of-body experience.
Yeah, that was an out-of-body experience. I was just talking about that now. That's one of the most surreal. I keep forgetting about that one, but that was I think it's there somewhere, but I don't know where. But it was a very surreal day because, like you said, when the Jeep up until Jeep, nobody cared about us, nobody talked to us, nobody really gave a shit really. And all of a sudden, we came out with the third album, and all these celebrities and big rock stars all started coming to our shows and meeting us, and we were all a bit like, what's going on? And when it got to the Who thing, I mean, that was for a Teenage Cancer Trust benefit gig, which we're quite heavily involved in now. We do a lot of work with Daltrey and stuff to open different wards across the country and stuff. But that day, I remember I was in V2 Records in Holland Park, and Noel Gallagher rang me, said he's going to come and pick me up in his car. Well, he wasn't driving because he can't drive, but the guy that was driving him in this Mercedes thing. So he picked me up, and I was in the back of his car, and he drove me to the Albert Hall. So that was surreal enough as it is. I remember the carpet being really thick under my feet. I remember that was quite nice. And then we got to the Albert Hall, and he walked me to the stage, and he was the one who introduced me to Townsend and to Daltrey and to John Entwistle, because he was still alive then, and Zach Starkey was playing drums. He said, I'll go and get you a cup of tea while you do a sound check, and I didn't have the bottle to tell him. I didn't really like tea. So he brought me a cup of tea and put it on the floor, which I never drank. And we did the sound check, and I shit myself, to be honest, and then we went off, and then we did the show, and then we went backstage, and Harvey Goldsmith was walking about with Mick Jagger, so I had a picture with Mick Jagger. So if I'd actually died that night, I think it probably would have been the ultimate rock and roll experience for me at that point as a 25 or 26-year-old man.
Yeah, it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the DVD. Do you have the DVD?
I have seen it, yes.
Yeah.
It was a good night. I mean, it was a very good night. It was a very good night. I got very drunk that night.
Definitely one to tell the grandkids about.
Yeah, they won't care though, will they?
Yeah.
They'll be all asking me. They'll be all asking me, did I meet Beyonce and stuff like that?
That's right. Yeah. Why didn't you ever sing with the Pussycat Dolls?
I hope I do.
Yeah.
And Beyonce.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially. I mean, fine-looking women, all of them.
Yeah. I'll stand behind them.
Yeah. They can go in the front, and we can be the backing band.
Do you get many requests?
Not to sing with Pussycat Dolls, no.
We've done a Rod Stewart thing just before Christmas. It was like a Rod Stewart TV special, so we got up and done handbags with Rod, that was good. Like,
that's right, because
he's
covered
up there
that as
again.
well. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few versions of that over the years.
It has, yeah.
Yeah. I think one of our Australian artists, John English, had a hit with that in this country as well. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike Darbo's doing well.
He is. He'd be making quite a bit out of that.
He came to our show actually. He goes, "Thank you for covering my song." He said, "I was building a conservatory, but now I can build a whole fucking patio." And I was like, "Thank you very much."
I bet. Yeah. Just out of one song. Yeah.
He's doing all right.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have the Stereophonics here, Kelly and Richard. Thanks for joining us here at Undercover.
Thank you very much.